Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today's Thursday. So I've got my buddy Jonny Litecoin joining us. We're going to be talking about the weird internet outages and how that's affecting and who that affected. So hang in there with us, give us a like, share this video, and we'll be back in just a sec with Jonny Litecoin. Hey guys, we're back. Jonny, thanks for joining me today. I know we're going to do a quick one today. I'm really inspired by you going and playing tennis. It's super hot here, so there will be no tennis playing in Oklahoma. There's only poolside things happening because you need to be able to get in the water around here. But I'm glad you're out there.
Yeah, no, thanks. I kick off my annual tennis playing again tonight, so I'll definitely be rusty. So
I'm sure you'll give them a run for their money.
And the worst thing is, usually I usually eat so well, and today I ate pretty heavy. I mean, it was still well for most people probably, but for me it was heavy. I set up a point of sale at a place, and like the Clover equipment, and you could add to pretty much all the food items burrata. I'm sorry, is it really loud? I have like a really loud noise kind of like behind
There's a little bit of like a fan or motor humming, but it's not, I don't think it's terrible.
I don't know what it started like right as we started, but who knows?
Yeah, it wasn't when we were talking earlier. It's just when we went live. But there's lots of weird things happening in the world right now.
It's like a freaking omen. I've never heard of this before. It's not my AC. I'm like, what is that? But all right, so anyways, you could add something to all of the food items called burrata. Okay,
I've never heard of burrata.
Burrata is a type of mozzarella. Okay,
mozzarella, which means cheese.
Yeah, no, well, mozzarella is a type of cheese, right? People from New Jersey say like mozzarella. They say it all different ways. Like some people say like mozzarella. I
also like the way you guys say ricotta.
Oh, they say
they say ricotta.
Yeah, ricotta. Like they got the weirdest pronunciations of stuff. So I just say mozzarella, right? But anyways, burrata is different from regular mozzarella, right? Burrata is like a wet mozzarella. It's like very like moist and wet. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. It like melts in your mouth. So I told them, I'm like, give me a big plate of grilled chicken. And then they put, went away finally the noise. Woo. A thing of broccoli rabe on the side. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Broccoli rabe.
I was told to have that on my Philly cheesesteak when I went to Philadelphia. So I've had broccoli rabe before. It's like kind of baby broccoli, kind of.
I wouldn't get it on a Philly cheesesteak, but
that's what they told me to have it on my.
I usually I get. And it's sauteed with like garlic always. Yeah. Like it's good. Yeah. It's good. So it's really good. I got that, and then I got the burrata, and like I was just eating. Oh, it was awesome. It was a massive plate. And usually I do that fast usually every morning, and then I have like a shake or like a smoothie.
Lord. so then you had wet cheese, garlic sauteed broccoli, and chicken.
Tons of chicken. And now I'm feeling weighed down. So I'm like, great. I'm playing of all days to play tennis. I'm like,
oh my gosh. Well, you're going to make yourself pay for it. That's all right. You'll run it off. You'll feel better tomorrow.
Good thing tennis, I'll be sweating out garlic by myself. Or at least away from, it's not like we're.
Yeah. Kelly will be yoga, have that out of your system by the time you get home. Yeah, she won't have to suffer that. That'll be good. Oh wow, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, that's good. Well, when we do the happy hour, so our second location is Jersey. We're coming to Jersey, and you're helping with the location. So maybe we can have some wet cheese at the happy hour.
The
And
place I have in mind is more of a bar that we're going to go to. It's
okay,
not really like an attack, but who knows? That could change. Maybe
maybe they have wet cheese.
maybe we'll change the venue, or maybe we'll get a special wet cheese in.
We'll see. I'm open for anything. We'll see. So, and that we're talking about right now, tentatively September 24th and 25th. We're still working on getting, Westwood and I are working on getting a web page on his website put together so everybody can see the dates, and we're working on our sponsors and stuff. So all that is to come. Looking forward to seeing everybody on our little hit around the area. So I wanted to jump into, I sent you a couple articles. One was today's kind of, well, there was lots of big news today, but what I wanted to kind of hit with you today was, where did that page go? I know I sent it to myself. Oh, here it is. The banks, brokerages, and PSN, the Steam store, and more went down in a massive internet outage. And this was globally. And I wondered, like, what your thoughts were on this. They're talking about many websites, including banks pages. This affected airlines, Airbnb, Ally Bank, Fidelity, Sony's PlayStation Network. I'm sure kids all over the world were in torment for hours. Delta's British Airways, they were either down or had important functionality like flight check-ins broken. Many sites appear to be functional again after Akamai, a content delivery network that hosts much of the internet, started rolling out a fix to its service. So it says they're continuing to monitor the service. They confirmed that it is not a result of a cyber attack, but there was some outage. So, what are your kind of thoughts on all that, and what do you see?
Well, it's probably definitely a cyber attack because they said it's not a cyber attack.
Right.
I wouldn't have been so sure, but since they said it wasn't, it was.
Most likely it was.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I've noticed I've talked about this a little bit before, but I noticed in the last like year to year and a half, like probably the last year at least, a lot more weird stuff in software. And I work with software a lot, like where I'm downloading stuff, I'm testing stuff. We almost joke around sometimes. We're like, what is it, a ghost? We're like, is it the software ghost that's messing with us? But I've seen more outages than usual. Here's what I do know. They definitely wouldn't let us know the truth. So that's kind of like our baseline. They're not going to tell us what really happened. So we have to kind of go by that. And put it this way, I've witnessed, I can't name names and stuff, but I've seen a hack occur in the financial world that was totally covered up. And they actually pinned it on something else. And it wasn't adding up to me. And sorry, probably got a package.
That's okay.
So it wasn't adding up to me, and I was like, "No, this is a hack." And they denied it up and down, but
even in this report, they're saying, or in this article, this is so strange. Like, so they're saying it's not a hack. We're already working on something fixes, and then then they're talking about essential services, and there was the emergency services were out. We're not clear if it was related to the web, but there's also how does it say it? Something about a fiber being cut. Its outage stemmed from a fiber being cut.
From a fiber cut.
Well, why are you even reporting, talking about that, being associated with that? Like, that doesn't make sense. I don't
Right.
know.
It's like a
Is
false.
this all just disinformation relating things together and saying, look
I
over here, not over there, you know?
I think a combination of I think there's a lot of hacks, a lot more than they let on, and the hacks that they've disclosed, like the big ones that you've heard about, probably were planned, and they were probably behind those hacks. Is how I feel. And
So is
for
it that it's so obvious that they have to report on some of it, or people would be like, "Why is no one talking about this that we all know about?" So they report on some of it, but not
I
let us
feel like
know
they did the big ones because they wanted to make crypto look bad. That was definitely part of the agenda. Like, definitely. And I think those didn't make any sense because they caught in the one, I forget which one it was, Colonial, or I think might have been the Colonial Pipeline hack, and supposedly the hacker sent the Bitcoin to
Oh,
Coinbase
mhm.
afterwards. So you mean to tell me that the people responsible for supposedly hacking this really secure system sent the Bitcoin immediately to Coinbase? Come on, this doesn't like.
Is that the one that then they got half of the Bitcoin back for the company or something?
Yeah, it was what.
That was so hokey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I always go by what have I seen. Again, banks, brokerages. Okay, this is my wheelhouse, right? What have I
Mhm.
seen them do before? Like I said, I've seen a hack and they covered it up. Even to me, forget outsiders. They made such an effort to me to make it seem like, no, look over here, not over there. And I was like, no, I want to know about the hack.
Mhm.
And they were just like, we don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, so you mean, like, I was like, and I kept spelling it out for him. I'm like, what you're saying isn't statistically and mathematically possible of the chances being linked together of the story they gave me. I'm like, you always have to bring in statistics and math. I always say that if things that they try to link together, it's so statistically and mathematically unlikely. Like, they're like, oh, that was just a coincidence. Okay,
And then
one
they want you to
coincidence.
just stop asking them.
But
Yeah.
then when it's coincidence after coincidence after coincidence, you really have to look at the math behind this stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, when you link everything together, the mathematical likelihood of a lot of these things occurring with what they've linked together to show you, it's like an impossibility. So I always say math is always a good baseline to go back to. So yeah, again, I've seen it. I've seen them cover this stuff up. So I did they change all of a sudden from what I've seen? I guarantee they've gotten worse. So the problem is too, there's just so much stuff is insecure, and they don't want to let like there's a big problem of synthetic identity theft. Massive problem, and I'll explain what that is. Synthetic identity theft is where they might steal your complete identity, and then they make fake everything of you. I mean, everything, websites, profiles, emails, everything. They're synthetically creating a new identity utilizing your credentials. So we would get hit by this a lot as payments processors. It got to a point where we wanted to stop advertising online. It was all synthetic identity theft coming in. And that actually was before I knew about crypto. It was one of the things that led me to crypto, because I went home I was good at math always. And I said, the math is not adding up to me, how they are losing this much money on a nightly basis, and everything's always just going to be fine. I didn't even understand about the national debt yet. or the dollar wasn't backed by gold. I just said to myself, it doesn't add up. It's like a tidal wave of fraud. And so they don't. So, okay, let's fast forward a little bit. I was at a Bitcoin conference. I was talking to who I definitely suspect was the bad guys at this conference. Okay. Remember, the bad guys come to the conference. They're mingling amongst us. So definitely was somebody that I suspect was the bad guys. And we were talking about this. They kept slipping up when they were talking to me. They kept saying, we, or not them. We just want this. And then I was like, and they were talking about like the government and stuff. And I was just like, they were supposedly somebody else. And they kept correcting themselves and saying, no, I mean them. I mean them. So finally I said, well, who is it? You or them? Like, I kind of got them. Like maybe I made them nervous. I don't know. Yeah. So then I said to him, because we were just talking. We're talking about crypto. I just suspect they were the bad. They could have just been wanting to talk to me about crypto. They could have just been the bad guys. And I'm not saying it was to get me. It was just like conversation Johnny had with the bad guys at a conference. And so I brought up identity, and we brought up this. I said, it's crazy. No one will mention about how everyone's identity is stolen, this synthetic identity theft. He said, well, we don't want anybody to know about that. And basically we're going to make it a point so the public doesn't find out about that. Because if they know about it, they're going to freak out. And they're going to freak out. We can't have the public realize that. Then they won't trust the currency. And he kept saying, if they know about that, they won't trust the currency. We don't want that. No, I mean, they don't want that. He kept saying, oh, okay, right. Yeah, they, not you. You're not part of this. They, right? They, right? So this was, so again, they'll never let us know what's really going on ever. I think almost everybody's an actor that we see in public. I don't trust the stuff with McAfee.
That's the big countdown is supposedly, I think it's tonight or I don't know what time zone that was all posted, but supposedly at 1:00 a.m. the McAfee dump is supposed to happen. I don't know if the documentary that makes him look like a crazed lunatic was done by the bad guys to make him look like a crazed lunatic, or if he actually is one, or if the bad guys came out, or if he pretended to take himself out, or like all of this is just stuff that is being presented. I don't know if it's being presented by the good or the bad guys. I think everyone, because I talk about something on my show, does not mean I am endorsing it or telling you to have an opinion that I have or not.
You're just talking about it. You're just bringing up, hey,
bringing things up, and I'm encouraging people to think for themselves. I think there are little clues and hints in lots of things, but like we're talking about, even with this article that I shared with you today, because I shared an article about internet outages, I'm not even saying that the information in that article is accurate. I'm saying that this is an article, and Johnny, like you said, well, since they said it wasn't a hack, it probably is. Like, we're just saying everything we're being presented, we're in this unusual time. I mean, Beatles posted today, what if everything you've ever been told is a lie?
Yeah. And I'm kind of at that point.
I think a lot of us are.
I think McAfee, I wouldn't be surprised if he's connected to some type of 3-letter agency. Now just go rewind to who he is. Look at your computer. What probably is loaded onto it? McAfee antivirus software. Who did he mingle with? So obviously he was in the position. You always have to look, did they have the means? You check off the box. They had the means, right? The why. Well, a lot of times they need people to behave like that so they can do what they have to do to then. I'm not saying he's the good guys or the bad guys. I'm neutral on it. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if he was connected to a 3-letter agency, is all I got to say. And that everything he did was a distraction one way or the other, maybe to get close to people, maybe not.
And I think that there are people that have been involved in 3-letter agencies in the past, possibly with really good intentions. I mean, I have friends that have worked for and do work for 3-letter agencies that I think are really good people with the good intentions.
100%. Like, I'd say a lot of them are the good guys at these 3-letter agencies. So even that, someone might say, oh, they're anti these 3-letter agencies.
Yeah.
We're for the good people in these places. At least I know, Lisa, I know you probably want the same thing as me. I want the good people in there. So we have the best America.
Yes.
I don't want the bad people and the traitors and the snakes and the enemies of America in there. Right. I want the best people in there. These, so it's, I don't look at them. Look, I want smaller government, but they created all this stuff. So if they've created it, I want the good people in there working at these places,
Right.
You know what I mean? So
and that's why we need transparency and things like cryptocurrency and blockchain. And if we had our government, our constitution and our laws with blockchain, we would have that transparency. And so that's where, things like that would have a more true, honest, open.
We're fighting for, look at it, people that work for 3-letter agencies and government or whatever, right? And all politics, especially like government, right? Mm-hmm. They get a pension, right? So we're trying to bring truth and transparency to the financial system, right? Mm-hmm. More on-ramps, more off-ramps. We're trying to tell them as well, get into these lifeboats. Yes. This isn't just for the private sector. This is for you guys too. If you guys have pensions, you have this. Protect your wealth, right? This is for cryptocurrency. It's for everybody, right? We're all Americans. So we are, we want everybody to be able to access this. We want to, and again, we're doing a really important role because a lot of these people watch different shows to learn about cryptocurrency that work for 3-letter agencies. And they can get, they're not experts on crypto. They're like us learning about it. So if we put out the right information and try to dispel the FUD, they're going to learn about it the right way. And they're going to see us more in the crypto space more as, hey, this isn't the enemy. This is the friend. This is a tool to help people. Like any tool to help people, bad people can use it. I'm always the first to say that. If bad people didn't want to use cryptocurrency, it wouldn't be valuable. Nobody tells bad people and criminals what currency to use. They elect to use the one that A, works the best, and B, has the best value. So really, you'd look to well, gee, that's kind of like an unregulated like sector. We're not for what criminals are doing, but if they didn't want this, it probably wouldn't have value. I always tell people I told this at a seminar I did. I said, if we got robbed at the seminar and they came in to rob us, would they steal the napkins and well, I guess, I don't know. Maybe now they would steal. They'd come in and steal the napkins.
They might, yeah.
They might. But you get the point. I said, no, they're going to try to steal the cash if we have gold on us, if we have jewelry on us, the things of value, right? So, just take it, so it's, that's my 2 cents on that.
I think you're right. And I know we're going to keep this short, so I want to honor your time today. You got to go run off that wet cheese. But I appreciate it. I wanted to touch on that and keep everybody up to date. I know that we had some interesting information hit today. We had some statements out. Wendy, I think it's Brown. I'm kind of.
Was it the Arizona?
The Arizona audit. Yeah, they made an announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, the legislators are saying that they are going to be decertifying that those votes that they have to just with the amount of information. And then Pennsylvania, I'm forbidden to share the link, but I did. I think this is where the meme stuff comes in. So I did share a picture the announcement that they are decertifying that as well. So there's some information getting out there. Some things are going to start happening. I think it'll be an interesting weekend, which plays right in line with Cliff High's data about big emotional tension this next week. So I think there'll be some big announcements tomorrow. So everybody say a prayer for freedom, for America,
Yes.
for the world.
And
All the countries that are, standing up against these mandatory pricks and looking out for
yes,
everyone.
yeah, there's a lot going on. So I just tell everybody, keep your eyes out for an event. And they're really good at doing these events to trigger us. So just if there's an event that happens, just think, why is this event happening right now? Because again, they're not going to do the event for no reason, and they're going to know this event is going to trigger people. It's going to be a master plan. So just keep your eyes open for one of these false flag events. And people get confused. They say, "Oh, false flag event. You guys are saying that didn't happen." No, a false flag event it could be an event that totally happened. It just means they're using it for one reason, to just like look over here while they're doing something else. So it's not that the event necessarily, could be that it didn't happen, but it's not necessarily that the event didn't happen. It's just that
Could
something that
happen. It could just be a distraction. Yeah. So,
yeah.
be prepared and stay away from, crowded areas, have some extra food and water, know where your family is. Um, right now, it's hard for me to get in touch with some of my family members. So we have some alternate ways of doing that. And just be smart and be safe, everybody. So take care. Love to you all.
Wish me
Thanks
luck
for
in
joining us.
tennis.
Good luck. Go kick their ass, Johnny.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Take care.